downward, retarders slow the car to the perfect speed to couple with the train taking it to its final destination.
Well, we have two different hump yards inside the yard, two different types. One we refer to as an inline yard and one that's more of a side-by-side. The humps themselves are made up of a receiving yard and a departure yard. The bowl tracks is really the tracks where the cars are actually classified. Each bowl track has a specific destination. So one track may be for Little Rock, one may be for Parsons, one may be for Kansas City. And so as those cars are humped into the bowl tracks, that's kind of the term classification. We kind of get them all on the tracks that they go in so that they can meet their outbound schedules to make destination.
And there you have it, a brief glimpse of what you'll see from atop the Golden Spike Tower. Proceed to the elevators and press floor 7 for the open-air platform, or floor 8 for the enclosed viewing area. The Golden Spike Tower and Visitor Center. More trains than you can keep track of.
Let's go up and take a look, everybody. Welcome to another live stream event from the Gold Spike Tower in North Platte, Nebraska. Which way do I... Elevators down here? Thank you, hon. Let's ride on up. Where are you from? We start at 8th level, which is an enclosed observation deck, and then we'll head down to the 7th, which is open. Should be very interesting to see this. I don't know if anybody else has ever live streamed it, but I have permission to video today. So let's go up to the top of the tower here. Welcome aboard, everybody. Up 70. See the cornfields of Nebraska. We're up pretty high right now. Welcome aboard, everybody. 4014 locomotive. This is the rail classification yards. Thank you, Barry. This guy that's giving a tour is a retired Union Pacific guy.
Those 30 tracks over there we bring empty coal trains into, double stack container trains, grain trains.
Man, look at this, is massive over here.
Break apart.
Okay.
Take them over there, we service the cars, service the locomotives, call in the crew and send them on their way.
Okay.
Man, look at that locomotive repair shop over there. Man, look at that.
This coal train's coming out of a run-through track up there. You follow, your eyes follow that coal train all the way up to where the yellow pipes are.
You ever seen so many rail cars in your life?
Okay.
We have 8 run-through tracks up there with fueling service facilities. They come in, stop by the fuel pumps. The inbound crew gets off and leaves, they're done. The car department and the diesel shop service that train. If there's no mechanical issues, we'll call a new crew and send it on its way.
Okay.
How do they service a pusher engine?
They serve with a fuel truck.
Oh, they
The
got
crew goes out in their pickup, and we have bulk fuel trucks, and they'll run out there and fuel the service. And the diesel shop guys.
That's the big repair facility over there.
They use. And the diesel shop guys have a service truck. So there'll be 2 or 3 of them in that truck, and they'll go out there and check it. And it's possible also,
Man, this is massive.
we're behind or short of crews or whatever, they'll pull the whole train down and stop it. And then can service it right there in the
Yeah,
pit.
the can is soda.
But we don't like to do that, it's double time on that.
Yes, right, you're right. It is 23.
Where are the humps that they, can you see them from here?
Right straight across over there, see those two engines going down
I do.
in front of that building? That's the west hump. Everything over there is westbound.
Okay,
They just finished a train. So the engines are going down into the bowl, brought to move some cars ahead and do a little switching.
wow.
Right up here, if you look up this way, up there, clear up there by the big tall light tower, you can see the cars rolling down the hill. Way out there.
Right,
Okay, that's the east hump. Everything in this bowl down here is eastbound. When we build new trains, which these guys are doing right here, with their switch engine, they're building new trains.
ever mess up a train? Never happens, huh?
Well, since I retired, I do have some problems, but not since I retired.
Where's all the direction for who's doing what?
Yeah, is it
where,
all
coming
computerized
from?
or?
It's all computerized, but this building right down here with the tower, they have the, east tower right down here, there's the yard master's up at the top of that, and his crews work out of that building. They get all their information off the computer, and then he tells them to go in which tracks to hump, which ones need this and that. That's who they work with. If up there at the hump, you see the building up there where they're humping them, the yard master's up in the top, the foreman's down below, and they control that area. That's where they, and then on the west side, we have various points of, where the employees go to work. In the Carmen, they all have their buildings where they report to work.
Wow,
We have different people on the grounds that work out of pickups. The shop guys over here, of course, they all report to the shops over here. Each shift is 8-hour shifts. 3 8-hour shifts, 7 days a week.
they must be very desirable jobs to have for
They're
the
good
union.
jobs. You know, it's mostly outdoors. Well, the shops, of course, is inside. But a lot of this switchmen out here, it's mostly all outdoors. And so you're out there 10 below, or you're out there in 100-degree days.
Must be brutal in winter sometimes.
It can be, yes. Definitely can be brutal.
So this is coming in from the east here, correct?
Correct.
And they'll be, maybe from what ports would they be coming in
They
from?
would come out of, well, we have Seattle,
Oakland or?
Oakland, Seattle area, Portland, Oregon, LA and Los Angeles is a big yard for us. They come this way, Salt Lake, Ogden, we have a big yard there. We have a yard in Idaho.
So where's the north, where do they do the north-south? Is this just
Be in
east-west?
Council Bluffs.
Oh,
This is
Council
all
Bluffs.
east-west here.
Okay,
Council Bluffs, Iowa, we have a big yard there, and that's where Omaha is where the headquarters are. Council Bluffs, we can go south to Kansas City, on down to Houston, down that way to New Orleans, San Antonio, Fort Worth, Dallas. Or we can go north up to Sioux City and in that area.
so
We do have a cutoff down here by Kearney, Nebraska, Gibbon, Nebraska, where we can turn south and go right on down to Kansas City.
So for a simpleton like me, if a train comes in from, say, Los Angeles, and then they need to send the freight to Kansas City, how exactly do they break the train apart over here?
The train comes in, if it's got mixed freight, it's gonna be one that we're gonna hump
Oh,
or reclassify.
okay,
It would come into the receiving tracks up there. We would take the locomotives off and take them to the shops.
mm-hmm,
The car department would work that train, they would inspect all those cars and see if there's any problems of any
Okay.
kind. The hump engine would get on the west end and shove them over the hill. And we would start humping, and we would split them up into one of these 64 bowl tracks.
so you have little engines that are just
Yeah,
working, they
well,
never leave the
they're-
yard,
they're-
they're,
They're switch engines.
and I guess
just in
there's
the
people
yards.
work here never left the yard, huh? No free rides on
No
them.
free rides. Well, eventually, as your seniority grows, you can go out on the road.
Oh, that's
and work the
interesting.
road, Yeah,
How many years were you with the UP?
25.
Wow, that's awesome. I was watching a video of the guy on video. He didn't want to retire. So
Yeah.
he wanted to keep working.
Jurgen said he just passed away a few days
Oh,
ago.
boy.
He was 101 years old.
Wow. Must have been a good
Yeah,
era of
sure.
diesel around the yards.
Well, he started in the steam engine days and he worked clear up, well, when he was 70, then he had to retire. But that rule's gone now. You can work, I think you start at age 65, then you have to have passed the physical every
Mhm.
year.
Any mishaps ever here in the,
Oh,
yeah?
we have them, yes, but nothing serious.
Okay, just
The
maybe,
normal sprained ankles, pinched fingers,
I meant no derailments or anything here in the yard? Okay.
no big derailments,
This is 24/7?
24/7.
Okay, wow.
Yep.
It's quite an operation.
No, the safety factor in this yard is really, really tough. They're really very safety conscious.
Wonder how often a locomotive has to be serviced and,
Well, every time they get to a major terminal, they're inspected and serviced as needed.
okay.
The main maintenance is every 3 months.
Okay.
If we have a mechanical issue or of any type, well, of course, they have to get into the buildings a lot quicker.
Fascinating. It's a lot of locomotives.
We service in and out of here 300 locomotives every 24 hours.
Wow.
Last month, we used 14 million gallons of diesel fuel. If it goes up a nickel, we're in trouble.
You don't see cabooses anymore.
No cabooses.
What happened to cabooses?
Well, the technology eliminated it.
What were they used for? Carrying mail or?
No, the conductor and the rear brakeman were back there.
Okay.
Um,
I saw a lot of security. I guess you have some people that try to occasionally jump a train or
yeah.
something.
Well, we have our own special aid, our own police force.
Probably lots of cameras all over too.
Cameras everywhere nowadays, yeah.
I think it's, what is there, federal offense now to hop a train or something? It's serious
Well,
business.
There's two ways on that. One is if you're caught riding a boxcar or another type of freight car, first offense is a misdemeanor, they turn you loose.
Okay.
Caught the second time, well, we take them down to the local sheriff's office and have them fingerprinted. If they're not wanted for anything, they turn them loose. Second offense, you get time in jail.
Oh, well.
Now then, if you're caught on a locomotive or messing with the train crew, that's a felony. So then you're in some real hot water there. You could get a few years in the slammer with that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's tempting for some people to, a
we
yard
get
like
riders.
this to,
If you look at these freight cars close, there's really no place for them to ride anymore.
Not like they used to be.
No.
not like it used to be.
Occasionally, you'll see a boxcar with an open door.
So is this a completed train now heading,
No, he just started.
okay, he just started, so they'll start taking that
He's
apart.
pulling out. No, he's starting to build a train. That's his head track.
Okay,
So he'll be pulling back far enough to line a switch to go in and get his next track.
okay.
He'll do that for 4 or 5 different tracks till he gets his train built.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around this yard then.
So
What
these
they
are
do.
just yard engines, they're not. the road
They're
engines.
switching, yeah, yard engines. They do not leave town. They were new GMs about 30 years ago. They were 3,000 horse. We pulled them off the main line, re-geared them, made switch engines out of them. And all of our new wide bodies are out on the main line now. They don't look new, but they are, within the last 10, 12
Yeah,
years.
These guys, the yard engines nice and clean,
Yeah,
pretty shiny.
we're coming off of a hard winter.
How you doing, Katie?
I'm sorry.
I was just talking to somebody on my chat stream.
So
Where are
is
these,
this
where are
switcher-
these locomotives,
switcher
pulling them
the
into
whole
the?
string?
The switch engine, that's a shop engine. All they do is keep the shop building full. They pull out the repaired stuff and fill the bays with stuff that needs to be repaired. That's what they do for their 8-hour shift. There's
Oh.
another bunch of guys running around down there, what we call makeup crews. We know what trains we're gonna build in this yard. We know where they're going, the length and the tonnage. And we assign locomotives to them. And the guys over here in the shops will dig those locomotives out, get them together,
Well,
and we'll shove them into where, between those 2 towers. And that's a fueling service pit area.
So
They
not
can fuel them, hook 'em
yeah,
up.
the average person would think every locomotive is equivalent to every other one, but there are some super powerful ones for the Rockies and things like that.
Well, no, we just assign more
Okay.
locomotives. Now, out in California right now, we have some fairly new Caterpillar
Mm-hmm.
built locomotives. They're 5,000 horse. Everything that we're using in this vicinity is 4,250 horse.
Does Amtrak doesn't go through
No,
here?
no
Okay.
Amtrak.
The other question is, if you have multiple engines, is there an engineer in each one of them, or
No,
just
they're all
they
hooked
can?
in they're all hooked
Okay.
in sequence. The lead locomotive is the controlling locomotive.
Okay,
The engineer and the conductor are on that locomotive.
okay,
Everything behind him is what we call trail. They provide power and air brakes, but there's
Okay.
nobody on them. And the rear locomotive back there, we call that a pusher. There's nobody on it, but it's radio controlled.
Yeah, how many people work in the yard here, do you know, in total?
Yeah, we have we have 2,500, approximately 2,500 total employees. Here in the yard, we have probably 300
Okay.
300 or so per shift.
Now, does some stuff come through urgent that gets priority, or is everything just wait, it's all?
Well, mail's priority,
Okay.
of course. So there's some of these double stack container trains come through with priority freight.
So if mail comes through, they have a special track out there for mail
Yeah.
to
Well,
rush that forward?
Uh,
I didn't
We
even know.
we don't hump those, we don't break them apart. They all come on truck trailers
Okay,
that are loaded on flat cars, with double stack containers.
well,
And the eastbound, you can see the ones down there, they're sitting down there.
down here?
See the double stacks over there?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Mhm.
the one that's leaving town, I think. Maybe he just got in town, I can't tell. They come in down below. And, they service them down below, do all the service and mechanical issues and take care of change crews, and they leave town going west. They'll have the truck trailers and the US mail on them. United Parcel Code, FedEx, and those.
So this is, they're adding cars to this guy going
They're
down
adding
here.
cars,
correct?
he's building a new train.
And where are they being added on, down here
Right
at
down here in the bowl.
yeah, it's hard to see that in there.
It's hard to see right now, he hasn't pulled. There's 64 tracks in this bowl. Each one of those tracks is considered a destination track. What he's building over there is probably gonna go through Council Bluffs, Des Moines, possibly on up to Omaha,
Okay.
or excuse me, Chicago, that area they're going on east.
Yeah, I never knew they carried mail by train anymore.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mail contracts, truck traders from trucking, truck lines, it's all a big part of our business.
Yeah, 'cause to just the naked eye, I don't really see anything going on in by that tall tower over there.
They just that's the east hump. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it looks quiet over there.
Well, they just got done humping one, and it's new, they might be in for lunch.
Okay,
Down below, I can see a couple of trains in the receiving tracks down there, west of the tower. It comes and goes, you know. There's days out here when it don't stop, and there's days out here, some shifts don't get much of anything.
wow. Is traffic heavy these days? or-
Traffic's pretty good, it's
Pretty
been
good.
real good, yeah, well, July's been a super good month for the railroad. Our commodities, we handle so many different commodities. You know, lumber's up, automobiles are up,
Chemicals?
chemicals are up, because of the farming communities, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, big farming communities.
Now, where is this guy going here? Do you think this?
That's the guy that's building sets for outbound trains. They're gathering up the locomotives, getting them together, the ones they want for the outbound trains. They'll shove them into those tracks down there by those two towers. That's where their fuel service and everything's hooked up and put together.
Yeah, some of those look like they've seen better days. Those.
Probably have. Looks like two of those had been on fire at one time or another.
Yeah, it looks like they had a fire in them.
We are so busy, we just simply don't have time and facilities to get them washed, cleaned up. It takes an acid bath.
Oh,
You
okay.
have to go through an acid bath to
Wow.
get that grease off. And then you go through the soap and water car wash type thing. And We just don't have many of those around anymore.
Okay, so it's two different humps then for one eastbound and one westbound.
One west. Everything over here is eastbound. Everything clear across over there is westbound.
How many are there? Can you count them?
Does inclement weather slow things down, or do they still keep it rolling the same way? Okay,
Well, we go 24/7 year round.
okay,
Winter time, of course, is no fun.
right,
We have enough traffic. 92% of our freight comes through our main line here, from Cheyenne to Council Bluffs. It's the busiest freight corridor in the United States.
yeah, this is the biggest
So
switching
it
yard
keeps
in the
yeah,
US,
This is
isn't
the
it?
largest switching yard in the world.
In the world, okay.
So we have enough train traffic that keeps the snow knocked off pretty well.
Oh, okay,
It takes a heck of a big, strong, heavy blizzard to get us slowed down much. The yards slow down, the people have to be out there walking. You know, we have to wait, we have people that shovel paths and clean streets
okay.
and sidewalks.
So it's like a city in here.
Takes a little longer.
It's like
And
a whole
This is a city within a city, no doubt about it. But, you know.
Hi,
they're
Mrs. Goelli.
Three 8-hour shifts a day. You know, the first shift that catches the blizzard, they're the tough ones, and the second one, they got better walking, the third one's pretty good.
There's the humping where they're putting trains together. So the way they actually hump them, first they break apart all the cars out of here, and then the little yard car will go get the ones that they want.
No, well, these guys do.
Okay,
These are the switch engines down here that are building new eastbound
because
trains.
I just still don't understand the mechanics of how they, why you have a drop down and why you go high and go low on these hump and then bowl.
Well, they shove them up the hill, they shove them up the hump. That's where they separate the cars, and they put them into one of these 64 tracks.
Okay,
Those are called destination tracks. These guys down here get their information off their computer. They know which tracks they need to build a new train. So that's what they're doing. They shove in, pick up a new
okay,
track.
they're coming over
pull
here
that
and
out.
grabbing.
Yeah. So these guys, they're shop engines, that don't count.
Okay,
These guys right over here, you can see the switch engines down there. They're building a new eastbound.
and that's the one right out here.
They're building a new eastbound. Now he's shoving back in to pick up his next track.
Okay,
It might take 4 or 5 tracks to get his train built.
because he has to pick up stuff from different tracks? Okay, different commodities going. Okay, thanks.
And when he's done, when he has his train built, they pull him down east here. You see those down here, those are eastbounds waiting to go.
Right down here, right
Yeah.
at the end.
Once we get them pulled down there, the switch engines cut off and come back up here. And then the car department will work those trains, get them all ready to leave town. They'll put outbound locomotives on them, do air tests, and the road crew will be called, and then they'll be leave town.
Underway. How far will a typical engineer take his train on the UP?
We work districts. East out of here, we go to Council Bluffs.
Okay, so that's what, 300 miles?
278 miles.
Okay, that'd be an average shift for an engineer.
Be a 12-hour day. You cannot work over 12 hours.
Okay,
That's federal law.
good money, I'm sure, to be an engineer too on the UP.
It's good.
Yeah. But you could be
You're
night,
on. You can
you're
be
on.
on weekends, holidays, whenever.
Right. Thank you, sir. Very, very fascinating. It's a lot to wrap your head around. It's a lot to understand the way this system works is I don't know, from my knowledge, they break them apart up here and then put them together, grab them off of these tracks and put them back together.
The only question that I had when I was watching the video, I always thought was this one.
That's the biggest in the world. Hey, Four Scores, how you doing?
Basically, what it was, the train is electric motors.
Look right down here.
This is how they take the chains apart and put them back together again. They push the individual cars up the hump, they call it, one at a time, and then they're computer controlled which track they're going to down on. Well, you can imagine before computerization. All right, let's go down one floor to the open air. They're building this guy's train right here still. Well, let's go down a floor.
Each one of those axles is an electric motor with wheels. Each one of those big electric motors produces 650. That makes those about 4,200.
4,200 horsepower per locomotive.
Well,
I don't know.
not necessarily stronger, but there's no way that you could have a locomotive with the traction motors. That's how they run off of electricity, diesel electric.
You know, I was kind of thinking about diesel.
The big fuel tanks are in the center, you can see them, 1,000-gallon tanks.
4,000-gallon tanks.
It's a nice, very big. Yeah, big.
None of these.
Pass to the one in Barstow, yeah, California, because we live in California, we see that before. It look big. This is big.
Well, this is considered the world's largest classification yard. There's 2 humps here, eastbound, this is all eastbound here. Straight across over there is westbound.
So that would be a mirror image of this side, just the same tracks. Okay.
Everything's west over there,
Okay.
here it's all east, yes.
And everything has to go by the clock.
Yeah, 30
We work
times.
well, yeah, we're here 24/7. Yeah, railroad never stops. We don't dare shut down. If we
Yeah,
shut
thank
down
you,
for any
Cheryl.
length of time, this thing becomes a big parking lot. We gotta keep these trains,
The ones that coming in, and the ones that going out, yeah,
no place to go. You run out of places to park and you start backing up all the way here,
all the way
all the way to Cheyenne, Wyoming, or all the way to Omaha. It has to continually flow. And if we have a derailment out here somewhere, the number one rule is to get the main line open. We have contractors with heavy equipment that will come in, they'll shove the wrecked cars.
Did that happen?
Oh, yeah, it happens, yeah.
What causes that?
We have derailments. The contractors come in with bulldozers and payloaders and other heavy equipment, and they shove all that stuff out of the way. Any of the wreck stuff, they just shove it out of the way. So that main line is free and clear, so our crews can come in and rebuild it. Get that main line open, that's the number one priority. Like I said, if you shut it down for 24 hours, it ain't long till this thing becomes a big parking lot.
Yeah, I was telling my wife, you know, we travel, and then we see sometimes crew that they're fixing the tracks. But I said, you know what, it's surprising is the triangular shape of the gravel and the whole thing. But it doesn't seem to be that strong.
Let's go down a level to the open air here. Sorry about the buffering. Yeah, let me go ask him. Let's see. What was his name? Rick Mays? Rick Mays.
There's a lot of weight out there, a lot of wear and tear on that continuous weight. And what we use in ballast, you got it up.
Yes, this is in North Platte, Nebraska.
Otherwise it'll wash out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Long enough, but not really. That's kind of interesting. You have to think about why is that way, design that way.
We use all cement ties. You can see over here on the main line, you can see the cement ties,
Yeah.
you can see the ballast.
So this guy's the main chief in that tower. It's
He's
for the whole
yeah,
yard.
he's the east
Okay.
tower yard master. He's in charge down here. Up there at the hump, they're getting ready to hump a train up there now.
Oh, okay.
The east hump master's up in that tower, and he's in charge of that end of it. They're bringing a train up on the hill now. They'll be going here, I hope, in a few minutes. Some don't make a liar out of me.
So there's no any old locomotive or anything around here. Everything
There's a
is-
locomotive in there
they use
starting to build the
everything
train.
use modern.
We have some in storage way up there, you can't hardly see them from here.
Uh-huh.
We have some sitting down here that are in somewhat in storage. They need major, so we're waiting to get them in the shop.
So the shops are here.
Shops are all right here, yeah. We can do, major overhauls to minor tune-ups over here. That building, you can get 70 locomotives under the roof of that building, or 3.5 football fields. The small building to the south,
Uh-huh.
that's a GE, General Electric Parts House. We got all of our parts over there. GE owns them until we go get them. And we go in and take them up and bring them back to the big building, then we own them. It's like a parts house anywhere you go.
Yeah.
It's
Well, that
our,
make it easy for you guys, because instead of calling, oh, we need this part, you know?
they used to have a warehouse downtown, so our guys had to take their time, jump in a truck, run down there and get it, or have it delivered.
And now,
So we built a building and moved them out here.
well, that was.
Somebody wanted to know if you knew somebody named Rick Mays that used to work here 10 years ago? Okay.
Don't ring
Yeah,
it
who
up.
else?
Rick Mays doesn't ring a bell, okay. So that locomotive in there now, that's starting the process, correct?
Where the headlights are on?
Okay, yes. Mhm.
Okay, they're in there getting that thing ready to go. They're checking headlights, step lights.
This one over here?
Yeah, you can see them down between the two towers.
Right.
Yes.
The guys are out there working on that. They're fueling it, servicing the airman, the diesel mechanics, the electricians are all out there doing their thing.
So that locomotive will now pull forward when it's ready?
When it's done, it'll,
What would be
be
your,
brought out, set over to a ready track.
Okay.
I know that to become a mechanic with locomotive, you don't have to be an automotive mechanic to work over here, or that's part of the.
You have to be a journeyman diesel mechanic. They don't just bring a brand new guy off the streets because we don't train them.
He needs to know what he's gonna do.
He has to be a journeyman, he has to have where he can work under a licensed electrician or a diesel mechanic. We have a school out south here in the college,
Okay,
and if you get hired, you can go through that school,
and then you have a job.
and then you may have a job.
In the best
Underline that word may have a job. Some guys don't stay, some guys don't make the grade. But yeah, we have a school out here for switchmen, engineers, conductors, car department, diesel shop guys are all out here in the
Because
college.
that school gets students from all over the country? Yeah.
Well, we get for this area,
Yeah.
yeah, we have other schools, other places. I mean, it would not be practical to bring guys from Kansas City or Houston up here.
No, but if they don't have a school over there, or they offer here, I don't know, something, you know, for any reason.
Well, we have guys that'll transfer up here, say out of Houston.
No.
He said about 2,500 and 300 in the actual yard there. Remember, this is a huge repair facility over here.
We don't, well, we have schools in all of our big areas, major areas. Of some sort.
No, okay, yeah, imagine, you have to basically have the basic needs of the train.
You can't just pick somebody up off the street and put them out here in the
No, I
yard.
imagine, no, but I
You
said,
gotta learn the rule book, once you get out of school, they bring you out here and they put you with an experienced crew for 90 days. You'll work the different jobs with an experienced crew. At the end of 90 days, you'll go on the board as an employee, or you'll be rejected and you'll go home, or go somewhere else. The guys don't make it, they don't like to work weekends, they don't like to work holidays.
now time is.
There's a lot of them can't pass the drug test.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drug
That's
test.
the problem.
Shame, man.
That's the problem. Nowadays, it's a big issue.
Okay, they're humping up there now. You can see the cars rolling down the hill. It's clear out there by the big light towers.
Okay.
Those
All
are
right,
eastbound.
I see them, they're coming, 3 of them, right?
They're coming down the hill.
Yeah, I see them.
They're going through the
So
retarders.
each one goes to a different.
Yeah, that's that hump up there.
Puts them into their correct track.
Puts them in, they're breaking apart that train and putting it into its correct track.
That's amazing. There comes another one. And another one behind.
Most of those are going north side, so they're probably.
And there they are coming down the hill.
It's that area. Council Bluffs.
See them rolling down to the right track over there.
East.
Here comes another one.
They're coming over.
All those individual cars.
So they were saying that they do like 140, 145.
See up on that little hump, there's a white one coming down now.
Train. They number of cars.
Here comes another one.
How
They're
many
taking
cars
that
are
train apart up on that hill,
Most of our freight trains.
and
are
it rolls
between
down to the right tracks.
60 and 120.
Oh.
All of our coal trains are 130.
Let's go down to the open deck.
And all of our big.
We won't have any
double
glass
stacks
in
are
front of us.
190 cars. But they're all-
Yeah, it's $7. Thank you to Cobra John for paying that forward. Let's go down a level here. I'm in the Gold Spike Tower here. First, I don't think anybody's ever live streamed over here before, but I am today. No glass, yeah. Please be sure the door, high winds up here. Here we go. See if we can see that train. This is where they're prepping the engine, fueling it up here. You can see one sitting in there. What they're doing is cleaning that, fueling it up, doing a last minute check like a pre-flight on an airplane. There's the hump. You can see the individual cars coming down the track. That's where they're being uncoupled, and each one of them is being sent into a separate side track here to build a new train. One at a time down that hill. Yeah, that's right, Cobra John. You got 49 of us, and you're awesome. And they have the mirror image on the other side here. Largest classification yard in the world. Yep, you drove by it last month. Definitely worth a visit. This tower is actually shaped like a spike. See, he said westbound on this track over here and eastbound over here. Yeah, a lot of people can't pass the drug screening. And then they got these yard locomotives that are running around the yard here, moving trains into the repair shop. These little yard pigs here. Definitely worth a visit if you're in North Platte. This is why I stopped here. That's as big as 3 football fields over there. Back in those into the repair yard. Let's see, way up on the hill, they're breaking that train. See where that little tower house between the lights over there. You can see little cars rolling down the tracks at a very low rate of speed. I took a drive down here. This is massive. Over here you can see some of the cornfields right next to some farmer's property right here. I rode down this road. I'll be putting that ride on the Murphy channel. That was 4 miles there. And I saw a lot of security trucks running around, security vehicles running around too. There's one there making sure nobody hops the trains. Lots of these guys in the yard. I saw tons of security. This guy's now, his train is slowly being built, so he's moving in an eastbound direction here. I finally got the gist of what's going on. Yeah, basically they're breaking the trains apart. I'm going to try to steady the camera real well. Basically on that raised hump is about 30 feet high there. They're taking the train apart that's coming in. Maybe you can see it. And they're rolling the individual cars down that hump, but they're all, each car is set to go to a different side, and then once the train's built, they'll pick up an engine or two or three or four and roll. One on each side. Here comes here comes an individual car rolling down the track now, just got split off from the train. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. Ooh, Rosie's working on the railroad, huh? Let me get a picture of myself here. Very, very fascinating. Well, guys, it's been a great visit. It's worth every penny of Cobra John's kindness to come up in here and see the largest rail classification yard in the world. Thank you, Cobra John, for your kindness. You gave 50 people a real treat and hundreds of people that will watch this live stream. Going forward, it's a little hard to wrap your head around it, but now I understand. Break them up, put them together. Oh, thank you, River Fox. I appreciate that. Thank you, my friend. Pretty cool when you go out this side and you got the cornfields of Nebraska. Thank you, River Fox. You can see Little Rascal right down there. Yeah, it has been great, Katie, hasn't it? It's been an amazing experience to come up here. I think I'm probably the first person on YouTube that's ever live streamed this with full permission from the site. That freight moves. That's the arteries of America right there. Thanks again, everybody, for being along on this visit to the Gold Spike Tower in North Platte, Nebraska, the largest railroad classification yard in the world. See y'all later.